the alias Machiavelli. Music insiders are running wild trying to rearrange other artists' street dates in fear of a wipeout in retail interchart movement. Although no one knows the exact cause of the new album, resources tell me a number of less fortunate rappers have joined together in conspiracy to assassinate the character of not only Mr. Shakur, but of Death Row Records as well. The question everybody wants to know is, why'd they get this nigga started? Tupac, rather Machiavelli, was not available for comment, but released this statement.
It's not about East or West. It's about niggas and bitches, power and money, riders and punks. Which side are you on?
Still fucking talking? You niggas still breathing? Fucking roaches? Alright, it's the raid on cockroach all day. Baby, punk motherfucker. This is it. Illuminati style outlaw Machiavelli solo shit. Bring it. Allow me to introduce Machiavelli the dawn. Spiritual lyrics like the Holy Quran. Niggas get shook like 5-0. My 45 lives next to me when we ride for survival. Money making plans, but we closing hands, rolling pockets. Let me introduce the topic. Snakes cause they breathe freely. See me ride, located worldwide like the art of graffiti. I think I'm tougher than nitty, my attitude shitty. Holding the dope fiend's titty. In every city you find me, look for trouble right behind me. My outlaw niggas down to die for me. Nah, I mean, I hit the scene, niggas ducking from my guillotine stand. I'm right there, my every word, a fucking nightmare. Get me high, let me see the sun rise and fall. It's for my dogs down to die for y'all. Extreme venom, no mercy when we all up in them, cut them down. To hell is where we send them.
Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga!
This episode is brought to you by FairDesk, a crypto derivatives trading platform founded by 6 former Binance execs and 3 former Morgan Stanley architects. FairDesk is a company focused on building a platform that enables traders to profit from both rising and falling markets. Sign up today and CB will credit you up to $600 in trading funds. For more information, visit fairdesk.com, link in the description below.
My whole team, train to explode, ride or die. Murder motherfuckers lyrically, and I'm not gonna cry. Me, a born leader, never lead a block without my heater. 2 big pits, I call them my bitch nigga eaters. And I don't whip a...
Let's go, ladies and gents. We're going live. My 2 cents. Got my boy TC back. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm a bad boy killer. Jay-Z got to looking out for Mob D. Nigga, when I find you.
Who else you know playing Tupac on a YouTube video other than me? I don't care about a monetization strike. Let's go.
Should've never fuck with me. I want money, whole sex, and weed. I want rest till my road dogs free. Born first, born first when we ride. Please, reconsider before you die. We ain't even come to hurt nobody tonight. But it's my life or your life, and I'm a born first weed.
What's your favorite Tupac song? Or give me a favorite album too. Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Let's go.
We ain't even come to fight tonight, but it's my life or your life, and I'm a born first.
Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Okay. Ready?
Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live.
Yes, indeed. I'm bombing first and doing it live. Welcome to another episode of My 2 Cents. And we got my man TC in the house today. We're going to talk about legendary Tupac, man. Keefe D, self-snitching at his finest. Or was it Vlad? I don't know, TC. You got to tell me who is to blame. I mean, ultimately, we know Keefe D is to blame because he's the one. Ain't nobody put a gun to his head. Nobody told him to go on Vlad and all these other shows. I thought the pandemic gave some people some money. I don't know, man. Let me know, TC. What's going on?
Man, I thought this case had been solved like 10, 15 years ago, bro. I'm so confused by what's going on. This is a dog.
Dog and pony. So what is, okay, so you think this is some type of psyop type situation,
absolutely,
huh?
Bro. Absolutely,
for what,
man.
though? What would be the reason?
Man, they got to show they tough on crime, man.
Tough on crime.
All the break-ins that's been happening around here, man, they got to show they tough somewhere. So
shout out to everybody in the chat room right now on Rumble, also on YouTube, on Twitter. Show me some support. Hit that thumbs up for me real quick. This is funny. Ryan James says, Jada was about to come for his head. Yeah, I heard Jada come out with a comment. Did you see her comment?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, she was quick to make her opinion be known about Keefe D being arrested. Charlie Mexican Lee in the house. Thank you for tuning in, my friend. Griff said, great intro. Hey, man. Gotta do it. Gotta do it for Pac. Gotta get the monetization strike for Pac today, ladies and gents. All eyes on me. Thug Life. I get around. Okay. All right. What's your favorite, TC?
Oh man, I'm not a huge Tupac fan.
Oh my! Oh, what the heck? What is going on?
I mean, is he East Coast? Is he West Coast? You know,
is he Blood? Is he Crip?
Is he Crip? Is he in the ballet? Is he Thug Life? I don't know, bro. You know.
Oh man,
I like Pac. You know what I'm saying, but it's just
he was a big contradiction, huh?
He was an actor. Yeah. I mean, he played so many different roles. I thought he was great in acting. I mean, he was a great rapper, but it's almost like with Nipsey, we didn't really get to see him mature to what he would have been. So.
So today, guys, we are going to be talking about. I hear you. Definitely was an actor, a great one at that. Like, no pun intended. Like, I'm saying, seriously, he did a great job in many of those roles that he played.
Justice? Yeah.
Poetic Justice, Gridlock. What else? What'd you say? Juice. He played a few ones, guys. I really, he did get cut down early for sure, but a lot of it was probably his fault. So you got to be honest there with that. But again, today we're going to be talking about breaking news in regards to the new details that I found out about regarding this Keefe D situation, him being arrested. Now, they did a search warrant on his house a few months ago, TC. I don't know. I don't even know what came of that. Do you know any details on what came of the search warrant?
I know you would have to be the dumbest criminal in the world to have bullets from 27 years ago in your house, bro. Like, let's just start there.
I don't think he did.
Okay, well, shit, what they gonna find? Like,
I don't think he did. I don't think they did. Rest in peace, Nipsey. Absolutely. Now, that's your favorite artist.
Yeah, he did my top 5, man. You know, honestly, I got to give it my favorite. I got to go with Wayne. Like, Wayne been around for generations, and I think Wayne is the father of a lot of these young rappers. So, to me, Wayne is the greatest.
Okay, Wayne if Wayne were to pass, you definitely would see him on the top 5 list real quick. You know, they like to give you your flowers when you're dead, unfortunately. And Wayne's body of work is crazy.
Flowers now, man. Dion, he brung the team out for Colorado.
Oh yeah.
Then Green Bay Packers, he brung the team out there. So it's cool to see Wayne finally, get his flowers. Like you said, most rappers, they don't get flowers till they're dead. So it's cool to see Wayne get his now.
Right, for sure. So first, I want to talk about Vlad, though, man. We got to talk about Vlad because this guy, it's a curse. Can you blame Vlad? Is it Vlad's fault? Is he a culture vulture, TC, or is it the people that's coming on?
I'm gonna let you start.
Okay, I'm gonna say he's not a culture vulture because he got a wife that's black. Round of applause for that. He got a black wife, y'all. He can't be culture vulture.
That don't mean that.
No.
So he can say nigga too, huh? He can say
I know he do. Come on now. He been DJing in the hip hop space. You know, when he riding in his car by himself, he's saying nigga. You know it. I don't think he's a culture vulture, because he's entrenched in the culture. Like I feel like culture vultures are people who are just taking advantage of the situation right then and there. Right, they're coming in to seize the opportunity to get a lot of clout, views, whatever the case, money from a specific situation in a very short, specific time frame. Right. Vlad has been hip hop, been black culture for 20 plus years, so I can't call him.
He was like in a BMF documentary.
So. He was in the BMF documentary. Shout out to Carlos Diaz, evidently a BMF member. Round of applause to Carlos Diaz.
Hey, that's a whole nother subject right there.
That's a whole nother subject, ladies and gentlemen.
Shout out to Big Boy for calling out all his black friends, man.
Shout out to Big Boy for calling out all the chocolate faces, only the chocolate faces. in front of a chocolate face house.
Waka Flocka.
I think he's a good guy. I think he's a good guy. I mean, I don't know. I think he is. Man, Ben's a fool for that one, bro. He ain't named one.
Jay Prince.
Oh hey, man, you say Jay
Waka Flocka, Jay Prince. Who else? Who else was in that, man?
Maxine Waters.
Hey, you done made it, bro. You done made it.
This nigga said
you with Jay Prince in the same sentence, man, the same breath. Hey, you did something, man. Congratulations.
Hey, man. All I know is you could have threw some non-melanated faces in that sentence, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. You're dealing with Carlos Diaz is dealing with more than chocolate faces, brought more than chocolate faces to Hit Network. You're letting your trailer trash hang out there, buddy.
I've been told you about Buddy, man. I've been told you about Buddy. First time I seen him, he gave me the vibes. You know, my question, I know we off subject here, but listen, since we here,
might as well.
If Big Boy was black, what would happen if he did pull that stunt?
Oh, he would have got shot by the cops. Right. Round of applause. Round of applause for that. He would have got shot. Hands up. They would have said his Burberry strap was a gun. You know what I'm saying? And he would have got shot on live stream.
He had a side chick in the back with the hammer too, right?
Casey Cassidy, whatever her name is, had the hammer in the back seat. Man, yeah, that was all wrong, bro. That was all wrong. I told him about it. I said, look, man, I called him. I didn't call him. I told somebody, you know, give him my number, and we had a call. Talked to him for about an hour, bro. And I told Ben, I'm like, look, bro, you know, I did say some things publicly that you were a fucking clown. Maybe I shouldn't have. Should have just talked to you man on man, mano y mano, like we're doing right now. But I said, Ben, you turned around and you did literally later that night. You were a fucking clown, bro. You going to people's homes, getting arrested, letting people know on your live stream you got your side miss with you, went to the tennis match, and your daughter and your wife knew, and
he was more, he put his hands, he said, you got me.
My man Ben, man, that boy is a fool. That boy is a fool, bro. That is hilarious, man. He was like, who's in the car? Who's in the car? He repeated what they said. Who's in the car? Who's in the car? Benjamin? Okay, all right. And then he put his hands. See, we would have got shot right when we put our hands down. We would have been shot right when we put the hands down, TC. We would have been out of there.
Boy, that shit was so funny. That was hilarious, man. This is the only thing good happening in crypto is
man. This is the most entertaining thing going on in crypto, bro.
Yeah, man.
But Ben has you know, moved on. He's got his new channel. Doing you know, getting it off to a good start. Listen, I mean, I want the best for him. People forget, they got a short attention span. They'll move on, and Hit Network will move on and pivot and do their own thing. Hopefully they can both, you know, move forward.
Well, just to like tie it all back in, man. Fame is a hell of a drug.
Yes, it is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just,
yes,
you know,
it is.
Certain people, like the spotlight, money, it just brings out who you really are. Then people wonder why they don't receive those blessings. It's like, man, you better off not receiving them blessings and being able to maintain just the normalcy of life. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So, and I think, like, you know, definitely. Like you said with Keefe D and Vlad and all these other dudes that's been on Vlad, it's like, hopefully there was some monetary gain. A lot of these dudes are just going on there telling their story. I mean, eventually it's supposed to lead to some type of monetization because their story get out there, they get more popular, they get more streams or whatever. But it's just weird that people will go out there and just snitch on themselves. That's the crazy thing to me. You know, I think the one where the one rapper from Texas where he was talking about the home invasion, how he shot the dudes, and then like a week he was on Vlad, and then like a week later he was dead. Like, you know
yes, BTS Savage or something. And Vlad had never heard of him,
right?
Until the incident, not his rap career. Never heard of the dude, and he ended up getting murdered. So is to you, I'm gonna ask that question to you now. I kind of answer. I don't think Vlad's a culture vulture, but do you think he is a culture vulture?
No, when you explained it, I would say no, just because I think that like a lot of times people look at color, and that's automatically what like constitutes being a culture vulture. But I think it's bigger than that because Sexy Red is a culture vulture to me.
There you go. Round of applause for that. Very good point.
I think now you said Rosenberg. I think he's a culture vulture. He acts like he did something for the culture.
Yeah, Rosenberg from Hot 97 or something like that.
Yeah.
What about the other dude?
Ebro. He a clown too. Like again, man, you got these radio stations that play hip hop, and you got half a nigga up there. Like Ebro is half black, and Rosenberg ain't, he ain't a black. So then you look at like most of these radio stations that's hip hop now, they'll have white, Jewish, and Mexican like VJ, whatever DJs, whatever. And it's like what? Like it's our culture, bro. Like how do you not have us representing, being a voice? So I think, like I said, culture vulture. I mean, a lot of times it's higher ups, saying we got people that's put in place like Cardi B to me. Basically, a lot of these female rappers nowadays culture vultures because, I mean, what is a culture vulture? You like come in and you suck off the culture and you bleed it dry and then you move on to the next thing and shit.
I.e., which MP brings a good point up. I do think Adam 22 is a culture vulture.
Oh, absolutely. Now he is for sure.
No, he 100% is a culture vulture.
Now he on the Chicago shit. So yeah, he's definitely a culture.
Yeah, he's a culture vulture. He comes in, was a punk rock dude, comes in, steals the show. Now he's moved on to doing porno with his wife. Round of applause for that. Round of applause for that. My man Jeremy Wedlow, aka John Izzat, said Drake is the GOAT.
Nah, try again. And that's who Big Boy need to go sit down with Adam 22. That'll be a fire. He's trying to get on Rogan. He should go on Adam 22.
Yeah, that'll be an easy one to jump on. Absolutely. These people, Ben has the it factor though. As much as people don't like him, say that he scammed people and all that, he's got the characteristics of that type of person on camera.
He never would have. Yeah, if he was black, he never would have got 1 million followers on YouTube. So
no, he wouldn't have. No,
he started after you, knows less than you, and shit is like 50x your subscribers. Like it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody cares about real information. They just want to be entertained. So they want to
be entertained.
Their bags up. Like what? Oh, this is gonna moon. Well, this was something you should look out for. Not knowing that like he got 1 million followers, so whatever he say gonna go up initially.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So the more followers you have, it's like it's a double-edged sword, bro. It just is what it is. So in regards to Vlad, I saw this. This is crazy, bro. That Piers Morgan. Now you know who Piers Morgan is, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Piers Morgan had Vlad on his show, I think a couple of days ago. Who would have ever thought you would have seen Piers Morgan and Vlad together? Now that he couldn't find anybody else. Check this out.
Kind of murder was a deadly weapon in relation to the killing. DJ Vlad, a major commentator in the hip-hop industry for years, admitted that police in Las Vegas asked him to help their investigation after he interviewed Keefe D for his own show. And DJ Vlad joins me now.
Tupac pulled out a gun.
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually see a gun?
No, shit. Once you got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So someone from your car started shooting at Tupac.
Vlad knows how to pin you up.
Across Dre.
He leaned over on the window. We rolled down the window, popped.
Who was it?
They would drove on my side. I would have popped him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, DJ Vlad joins me now. DJ Vlad, thank you very much indeed for joining the show.
Look at this guy, bro. Oh my, wait a minute, man. What
that's
the?
Why,
hey,
that's why
low
he stayed behind
key,
the cameras for so long, bro.
Low key, Bit Boy is the Vlad of crypto. Vlad wear all the designer Gucci and Fendi and stuff. Hey,
Big boy.
they need to link up. They need to link up.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Got the
I've
yays
studied
on.
this case for so long.
Got the Detroit
And
starter
these
kit on,
interviews
man.
that you did with Keefe D, they've turned out to be extremely significant in this investigation, leading, in fact, to him being arrested and indicted. When you heard that news, how did you feel?
Well, I mean, the goal wasn't really to get anyone arrested. It was really just to get the truth of the matter. The story about Orlando Anderson killing Tupac, I've known since around 2007. So this was essentially the worst kept secret in LA. Everyone knew about it, but there were no arrests, there was no convictions, there was no anything, there was no actual proof. So there was a lot of conspiracy theories around it. So around 2008, when I first heard the Keefe confession tapes that Greg Kading got, then I found out there was a book that was about to come out. I got a hold of Keefe D and his co-writer, and we scheduled an interview, and we just went from there.
Well, I mean, there you have it. He said he wasn't focused on getting anyone arrested. It never is, but always seem to hit his guests always seem to be arrested. TC, I don't know. I don't understand it.
Rollo got arrested, I think, off Vlad.
He sure did. He sure did. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're doing, AR Ab is gone. 40 years, he's gone. Under the jail, like Carlos said, right? Under the jail, he's gone. So yeah, you're right, bro. So anybody out there, up and coming artists, if you still got one foot in the street, one foot in the entertainment world, don't go on Vlad. Please don't go on Vlad. But I mean, at the end of the day, bro, it is up to the person. And like I said before, it's not Vlad's fault specifically. In my opinion, it's the artist. It's the clout chasing. We got a clout chase nowadays with the entertainment, mobile phones, social media. If you don't say it or show it, then it ain't real.
Right.
So we fall into that curse in today's society. So
also, I think that this shows that it's no money in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude, he a crip or whatever, and he supposed to do this or that, but look at him now. He's 50 years old. I don't know if he still got his flag, but I mean, his life didn't amount to. Yeah, his life didn't amount to whatever it could have been, and a lot of it is because the streets is whack. You know what I'm saying? Like, trying to live that street life, this is where you're gonna end up. You know what I'm saying? You're dead or in jail, and it ain't got no time limit on it. Shit. Somebody can always want some get back. What if one of Tupac cousins was like, oh, that's the nigga that did the shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you forever got to watch over your back. So to me, it just shows like that street life ain't worth it, bro.
No, it ain't worth it. It's fast. It's a fast life, fast money, but it ultimately catches up to you. It's the law of averages, bro. It's the law of averages. Over time, you keep doing certain things, you're going to get caught. You're going to get jammed up over time. So if you're going to do it, like I know people who have been in the streets, gotten out, moved on, closed that chapter, and moved on to more legitimate things. You can't keep being in the streets unless you're the mafia. Those are the only ones that win, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know. We know some dudes that's not in the streets. They in them suites in boardrooms. They're still getting active. So you know what I'm saying. It ain't like the streets.
TC, I'm gonna be Vlad right now. TC, would you like to elaborate on who these people are for us?
Them.
Them, not they. Okay,
them
round of applause. Round of applause for them and theys. That's crazy, bro. So next subject is a they or a them. Puff Daddy.
Speaking of the boardroom.
Speaking of the boardroom, they're saying that possibly this guy is going to be caught up in the rapture like Anita Baker. I don't know. Now, this is from Snoops because, a lot of people are saying after Keefe D was arrested that he was caught losing it after Tupac's murder was caught up and called him a rat and snitch. But Snoops, I'm not saying I'm believing Snoops, but they're saying it's unfounded. What's your take on Diddy's role in this? Because I don't know if you recall, TC, back when Vlad did, I think, the first interview with Keefe D. It may have been the second one, but he basically talked about how there was $1 million check Did you hear about that $1 million check?
They're supposed to like pay him. Yeah.
It was $1 million check given to another gentleman. I forgot his name. And then just so happened, those guys rolled all the way out, 4 hours from LA to go to Vegas. They didn't go to the fight. They just rolled out there in a rental. Why didn't you take your own car? So clearly there was some motive for the four of them to drive out there.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it was like that because I watched everything, the Unsolved and all that. But Pac got into it with dude at the casino. You know what I'm saying? So essentially, like, if you get into it with a gang member, like, they gonna get their get back. So they just happened to run into him on the strip and they got their get back. To me, I don't think there was like anything elaborate more than that.
You're right. So you just think it was just a coincidence. It was just a happenstance because
I just think it was happenstance.
Like you said, Baby Lane was he wasn't trying to enrage or invoke Pac or the crew. Right. He was just in the casino. And then somebody came up to Pac and said, there go such and such. And they ran over there. Okay. All right. I can take that as well. My man G, from a G perspective in the building, he said when Wayne brought in skinny jeans, man, hell no. Regarding, I guess, him being the GOAT. I don't know. I mean, skinny jeans ain't got to...
Look at these outfits from the 70s, bro. They was wearing onesies and all kind of crazy stuff. So I don't even want to hear it.
Yeah, shout out to my man from a G perspective. He was actually in that era of Pac and Death Row, worked with Death Row. I don't know how much, we want to say, but actually, I'm going to drop... If from a G you want to jump on, you can. I'm going to drop the link to this live stream in the chat room right now so anybody can join in and discuss what's going on. We're going to get to the main subject. I know from a G perspective, probably know better than anybody. He's from LA. Again, he was in that Death Row era, worked with Suge and Death Row when Pac was there, when Snoop Dogg was there. So maybe he can chime in on what's going on. But so you don't think Diddy has anything to do with what's going on?
I think that you can't prove it. Like, it was no text messages and emails back in 1996. So what are they gonna do? He wrote a handwritten letter or something? Like, what proof is there? So it's like you can say everything you want, but if ain't no proof, it don't matter. So there's definitely, I don't think Diddy would have left any trail if that was the case. Like, you can't prove that he gave money for a hit or for anything.
Two things can be true at the same time. Good point, MP. Very good point. So, they could have gone out there to still put that murder game down. But, things kind of happened faster than what they thought.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, bro. It's weird to me. Like, to me, it just seems like they got in a fight. He got his lick back, and it's pretty, like, cut and dry. I don't feel like it was nothing super elaborate on Diddy's side because it just don't make sense. Like,
gotcha.
What I don't understand the point in taking out Tupac.
Well, they say the $1 million was actually for Pac and or Suge Knight. I also heard that they have asked Suge Knight to give a testimony in this Keefe D situation. I'm not sure if he's going to or not. It will be interesting to see if he does. Very sad situation. That
he said I saw somewhere he said it wasn't Orlando Anderson wasn't the shooter.
No, he wasn't. No, I got some new news. I got some news that is from the grand jury TC transcript that is saying that Orlando wasn't the trigger man, nor was Keefe D. See, Keefe switched who was the shooter like twice. He went from Orlando, then he went to another guy, and I think then he went back to Orlando. Orlando, I don't know if you knew, was his cousin. And so I think Keefe D was the only person left alive after all these years. The other three people in that car that night are dead.
Well, shit, so you can put it on anybody then. Shit.
Yeah, but what happened was, and I'm gonna explain this. What happened was, see, Keefe D had a proffer agreement, which a proffer agreement is essentially you're signing this agreement with the cops saying that anything you say in that room would not be held against you. So you can spill all the beans tell him everything you need to for a lesser deal or a probation or whatever, right? He signed one in California, in LA.
So that wasn't a federal?
No, it was
because
a state
that's
proffer.
what I was wondering. Okay, like how
it was
how
a state proffer. But even if it was a federal, you still, like, once you leave the room, you can't go talking about XYZ because it only protected you while you were in that room with 2 other witnesses from 2 other agencies. They had to sign it as well. So you had to have an agent, agent from, I don't know, maybe say a federal agent, and maybe a local sheriff or whatever county agent. 2 people sign as witnesses and you sign the proffer agreement, then you're able to spill it all. But once you're out of that jail or precinct, you're not supposed to be talking about it any further. And that's what Keefe D clearly ain't got 2 cents.
But what is his charge? Accessory?
Yeah, he had I think 2 charges, or maybe more. But yeah, basically in Nevada, if you're there in the car with the murderers, you're part of the murder. Yeah, you're part of the murder. So yeah, it is what it is. So
clout chasing goes wrong.
When clout chasing goes wrong, ladies and gentlemen. So to move on to that point, I want to just show this clip real quick.
Onto your hats, because it looks like the heat might be closing in on Diddy too.
Do you feel like Puffy owe you?
Yeah, he should. I think he should look out. He look out for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
All them gnats, they can't really touch me. Y'all, at the end of the day, y'all see and y'all know what it is. The track record.
So what exactly is going on? The murder of the iconic rapper Tupac Shakur has been a chilling unsolved mystery that has haunted the music industry and fans for over 2 decades. However, recent developments suggest that the long elusive truth might finally be emerging from the shadows. In a twist of fate that could only happen in the world of sensational scandals, Las Vegas detectives slapped the cuffs on none other than Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, a 60-year-old gang leader with a penchant for trouble. His arrest has sent shockwaves through the industry and given a glimmer of hope to those who have longed for justice in Tupac's murder case. Mopremi Shakur, Tupac's stepbrother, couldn't help but express mixed emotions about the arrest. He called it bittersweet, raising an eyebrow as he revealed that they had been well aware of Keefe D's involvement for years.
Keefe
the $1 million question
couldn't even say his name right. Now this is a Culture Vulture ass channel right here, Spiel Today. Let's get it right now. It's Keefe D, not Keefe D, ladies and gents. So, I don't know, man. It looks like your boy Keefe D was bitter. That's what I got from him. He was bitter about the past, how things didn't pan out, how Diddy became who he was, how shit went on to become who he was.
You can't prove anything. Somebody could be like Diddy could be like, man, somebody need to do something to him. But that don't mean anything. Like, he didn't ask you to do something. Like, you just took what he said and chose to, make with it what you wanted to. So there's no case there. It don't make sense. Like, he about to go do some time, sit down, think about it. Now he can write his book again. I don't know how it did the last time, but, come out with your own documentary. But, again, it's like, I care more about the Biggie case. The Biggie case is more interesting because, again, I thought everybody knew what happened with the Tupac situation. Like, the unsolved documentary.
Well, yeah, I have to admit, DJ Vlad, for me, opened the eyes. I'm sure for millions others, when he interviewed Keefe D, that really exposed. I think he interviewed Caden or Cardin
one of the officers,
one of the officers. But when he got Keefe D on, which was there in the car at the scene of the crime, that was legendary. And he opened my eyes on a lot of things I didn't know in regards to that. But apparently a lot of people in California knew that Keefe D and his crew had something to do with it. Eastside Crips, I guess. I don't know what gang they were in, but it's unfortunate, man. Cut a legendary man's life down. But what I wanted to go over really quickly with you guys was this fact that now they're saying it wasn't actually Keefe D, even though he's going to get charged. Because in Nevada, you are going to be charged with the same murder or same crime as if you had done it, even if you didn't, if you're participating or there at the scene of the crime with those individuals. So despite, it says here, according to documents obtained by Channel 13, a man affiliated with Southside Compton Crips, Devontae Lee, says it was another Southside Crip named DeAndre Smith who actually pulled the trigger. Anderson and Smith were in a white Cadillac with Terrence Brown and Keefe D the night of the shooting, September 7th, 1996. It's not refuted that while the Cadillac pulled up to the BMW driven by Suge Knight with Shakur in the passenger seat, but conventional wisdom has long been thought that Anderson actually pulled the trigger. So it looks like from the TC, from the transcripts, we now know that it was actually Dwayne or DeAndre Smith, Big Dre, who pulled the trigger and killed Tupac that night. It wasn't even Orlando. So that's pretty interesting, bro. It's pretty interesting.
The crazy part is they all snitching on each other.
Yeah,
They
always
just goes
do.
to show that gang life ain't what is all seems.
The street life is never what it seems. Ain't nobody not snitching. Everybody is snitching. Everybody's telling. So stop it. Just stop it. Man, where were you the night of when you found out Tupac was shot? I remember that like 9/11.
Yeah, I was in high school. I remember when he died. Like we had this girl. I went to all white school, but I had a few black people. And one of the few black girls, she like when Tupac died, she started screaming in the hallway. I'm like, what the fuck going on? Like, Pac died. Like, oh shit. But I remember, he would get shot so much. It was like, oh, Pac, he coming back. You know what I'm saying? So for him to actually die, that was crazy. What about you?
That's the same thing I thought. Yeah, I was. I'll never forget. My auntie was picking me up from school. I can't remember how old I was, bro. But I was young, 8, 9, something like that. And my auntie was picking me up, and we were driving down the street listening to the local radio and crying, bawling out, crying. I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. Like you said, he had been shot 5 times before. I ain't know anybody survive a 5-time shot situation back then. You just never heard about it. Man, I thought he was going to pull through too, bro. I ain't even going to lie to you. When I found out he didn't, it crushed me. It definitely crushed me. It was literally like that and 9/11 were the two things I'll never forget, the day where I was and what I was doing when that happened. We got my man from a G perspective in the building.
Yo, what's up? What's up?
What's going on? Good? You good? Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, how y'all doing, man?
Good, man. You probably the closest to this situation.
Oh man,
of anybody I know.
Yeah, well, I wasn't on the scene when that incident occurred. I had probably fell on a parole violation maybe a few months before that. So I was sitting in a California prison, and I heard the news. But I was there up to a lot of stuff that led up to that, you know what I'm saying, and how a lot of the whole conflict began. I'd like to give a shout out to I can't think of his name right offhand, but a lot of people don't know it started way before a lot of that, when one of the homeboys got killed at a Jack the Rapper convention, from I want to say from Campanella, either Campanella or Cedar Block. But anyway, I'll say this, man. You talk about youngsters, dudes that's in the rap game, or dudes that's they're up and coming or coming out, man. If it's not adjudicated, anytime I talk about stuff, either it's things that has been adjudicated, meaning that it's already out public, or statute of limitations are expired, and there are no statute of limitations on 187. So keep that in mind. Or, all the people that were involved are dead, so, just, man, youngsters, man, be careful about running your mouths, man. And, there's certain things you can say, and there's certain things you probably shouldn't say. There's things that, I spent, most of my life in that life before I, had to make a change, and there's things that I had to go to the grave with.
So let me ask you this from a G perspective. I got a question. What should a rapper rap about? If you come from the street.
Well, I mean, like I say, okay, look, like I say, once again, if it's already adjudicated, I'll give you a good example. If I was a rapper, okay, I did a 13-year sentence for voluntary manslaughter. I can claim that.
Right.
I can claim that, and I can claim the fact that it wasn't even gang related. It was over a non-black race soldier who thought that they could just run around abusing blacks at that time. They were killing bums and killing people in front of liquor stores, and there was youngsters that decided, you know what, man, we're gonna take it to some of these cats. And one of those cats walked up on me, playing, he not knowing, and I honestly I blew his motherfucking brains out.
Right.
And then I took it, I fought it and ended up taking a deal on it and did, got a 13-year sentence and did like 8.5 off of it. I at that time, I thought I was never gonna get out of prison. I thought I was gonna die there, man. And one day I got a piece of paper up under the door that said, man, you can get up out of here. And that was maybe, 6 years or so in. I realized, damn, I could get up out of here, man. And of course, I didn't learn my lesson. I had to do another, I did 8.5 off that. I had to do another 13 later on, different stuff, trying to get that money for the most part.
Right.
So
did I explain the proffer agreement correctly and how he got jammed up, Keefe D? How he got jammed up because he did sign a proffer in L.A., but he's still going to jail for it. So you probably know better than me.
I wouldn't. I don't know about the proffer, but I mean, all the stuff that he said and all the other things are going to be accumulation used against him, of course. And from what it looks like, what he's saying, he's implicating other people. Whether it's subliminally or and at some point in time, if they haven't already, somebody's going to ask him about that. And so
do you think Puffy had anything to do with Pac's killing?
Yeah.
Really?
There was look, there was money on both sides. I know for a fact there was at least a mill on heads on both sides. We were at that time, we were looking. At that time when I was messing with Death Row, we were Usalamu, and it was you had a bunch of cats that either had chains or didn't have chains, were waiting to get chains, and you were on call, and when you went to a Death Row event and you were Usalamu, everything was free. We went to Tyson Bruno fight. Suge had 50 rooms locked up at the Luxor. Just locked up, like anybody who's on the list show up, you got a room.
Right.
And so for us, young street cats, for us, it was like, man, I catch any one of these dudes, I know for a fact it's a meal ticket.
Right.
But can they prove it?
Interesting.
Well, yeah. Well, now whether they can prove it, that's a whole nother. That's what
I'm saying. I'm like, I just don't think that they can prove that Diddy did it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, probably not, because from what I heard, that supposedly whatever money was sent, it never got to where it was going. Somebody else locked up on it. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it would depend on if they could prove that some money was transferred to that person and for that particular reason. And the way a lot of that stuff goes, man, you'd be surprised, man. You got dudes that after all this time haven't walked away from a lot of the bullshit, and so they get caught up in present day, and then all of a sudden that old shit come back. See, that's one of the problems.
You got to understand, though, man, that YouTube podcast money is an allure.
Well, not even just that. I'm talking.
You could go right now on the circuit. You can go on Vlad from a G perspective.
Yeah,
you go on Vlad. You can go on.
Yeah, I don't like.
I know. I'm just saying.
Shit.
I know. But you can go around. You can go to Art Dialogue. You can go all these cats, and they'll pay you $5,000, $2,000 a show to come on and tell your, you know, and so that's what probably happened with. I'm saying all that to say that's probably what happened with Keefe D. He was getting falling on hard times, and he saw that money, and he started making a lot of money, making that circuit. You same with your boy Mob James.
Yeah,
you know,
So. Mob, I don't know, Mob. He's got some animosity about his brother, man. And his brother. I got.
Oh yeah, that was your boy.
I got the ultimate love. I mean, they gave me you know, I ain't even from Compton. They gave me an honorary key to the city, man. You know, okay, and this is something I can talk about because all the perpetrators are dead. There was money put on my head. I had 100 put on my head and another homeboy's head. My homeboy that it was put on, they ended up shooting him in the back of the head. They ended up shooting one of my little homeboys in the back of the head, and they thought my little homeboy was me, but it wasn't. You know, my homie that was on the ticket, he ended up surviving. He living, he's good now. You know, but some individuals two dudes went to some of the homies from Compton, from the mob, and told them, you know, we got money for, you know, your head, you know, and the dude that sent somebody, he sent somebody from Compton to go get at them, and they told him nah. And then they called me and told me what was up, and said, do I need anything? You know, and I was like, nah, I'm good. So I appreciate it. You know,
so Mob's brother saved your life, basically. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. He gave me a heads up. You know, he did. He gave me a heads up. You know, gave me a heads up. But I earned that because years before that, you know, I ended up getting down with about 7 dudes defending somebody from Compton, you know, in the county jail, you know, and so dudes never forgot that. And so later on, when I touched, you know, I end up touching in Compton. And so, bam, I went and hooked back up with cats. And then they was like, man, you know, they was doing the death row thing. They was like, man, come on, you know. And so I was like the only dude, not the only, but around that time, I was like the only dude that wasn't really from Compton that was hanging out with the crew and was waiting on getting a chain. You know, there was some internal politics. There were cats that were saying, oh man, he ain't from Compton, woo. But you know, a lot of homies that I was messing with was like, nah, you know, he good, you know. But
so what was your take? You told me before while you were at death row, you kind of, you know, guarded for Snoop. What's your take on?
I don't like that dude at all. I mean, then, you know, yeah, but I don't like that. There's a lot of, you know, you know, now you got dudes that are cool, but I remember back around that time, or a little while after that time, there were a lot of dudes from Long Beach that was saying F dude, man. You know, but you know, but I'll say this: the fact that he pushed for Biden, I don't like no Negro that pushed for Biden. Plain and simple, man. I got folks that's sitting up in a 1994 crime bill that they done left behind. You know what I'm saying? You know, that hell no. You know, that dude don't get a pass for that. That touched every single black community in America, man. You know, and we look now, the stats show 60% of those arrests those convictions were for non-violent drug offense. While his son smoked all the crack that he could and never saw a day in jail. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't even bothered to rectify. He ain't bothered to rectify none of that. You know what I'm saying? So how you going to me, that's like every Negro that promoted Biden was saying, fuck all the brothers that was left behind, you know what I'm saying, behind the wall. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not with that. That's my folks. I got folks back there. You know, I got a homie that's sitting on death row. Shout out to Uno. You know what I'm saying? You know, people know him. Shout out to Uno. You know, he's sitting on death row for something he didn't do. He's been on death row since maybe the mid 80s, you know, early 80s, you know, Keith Fudge, you know what I'm saying? Y'all look him up, you know, Keith Fudge, Uno, he been on, you know, and it was touted as one of the biggest, you know, gang killings in LA at the time. I don't even know if anything has eclipsed that. It was like 5 deaths, but he didn't do it. And there were people who were at the scene that came to court and said, nah, he didn't do it. But because he had got into a beef with some of these dudes prior to that, they tried to say, oh, that was motive. You know You know, he's still sitting on death row. You know,
man,
so,
oh man.
So I don't.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
From a G perspective, you know, there's been a lot of pushback with the crime reform bills and everything. How do you suggest going about releasing nonviolent and, you know, because we still got to lock people up, but how do you address?
Well, they're doing that now. A lot of dudes that I know that have been down 20 years that had life sentences, the board's been letting them out, saying, "Oh well, you know, you've done enough time." A lot of these dudes, you know, either had third strikes for something, and the third strike didn't. If it would have been a one strike, it would have been maybe, you know, a few years, 10 years or something like that. And some of these dudes have done 20 years. So they're doing that. But I have to go to the root of the cause, man. And I don't care where you go in the world. Anytime there's poverty and there's despair, those areas tend to have a higher crime rate. You know, being in the Bitcoin space, man, I'm big on tech. I'm big on tech. You know, I understand tech more than, you know, anybody from my background and more than most college educated folks. You know, we've got to give other alternatives and opportunities. A lot of dudes in the streets are in the streets because of money, you know, because that's the only that's the only door that they believe they have, you know, because when they look around, they don't see any tech, you know, they don't see Arthur Hayes. How many young black folks know about Arthur Hayes? You know, how many young black folks know about the young, I don't know, Beetlejuice, the Lightning Network, you know, how many, none, you know, but they know about, you know, these skinny jean wearing ass rappers, you know what I'm saying, or these, you know, multicolored hair rappers. You know what I'm saying? I'm not with none of that. I'm not with none of that. You know, they lucky I don't rap because I'd be on their head. You know. So
what type of rapper would you like? If you were to consider, who would you?
Oh man, I would go back old school. I'd probably be a little bit of Pac when you're talking about like the hit 'em up version. I'd be like that, but I'd be smashing on all these weenie ass rappers. That would be where my meal ticket would be at, because it's like this. It's like, imagine we at the block. We hanging out and your homeboy come up in skinny jeans, or he come up with rainbow hair and don't nobody roast him. Yeah, with the purse, and don't nobody look. I got homeboys that can probably bag better than any comedian that's on stage now. They're not gonna let. That's free. That's like free material.
Yeah,
that's free material. You know, that's free material. I would be smashing on them. You know, but you know, once again, that would be the rapper that I would, you know, that's who I would be, you know, that's what my folks would be on.
Again, that's but it still is kind of controversy. You know, basically what you're saying is you would create controversy, and that's
because what was rap? What was the few fundamentals of rap? Either it was boasting about yourself or it was talking shit about somebody else. That's what original rap was. Either I'm boasting about myself, I'm the man, or bam, you ain't. You know, I'm the man, this and that. Whoop. That's what it was, you know, that's what it was about. Yeah, you had a few party, but even in the midst of the party, it was, you know, I'm the man, you know, or it was, you know, battle rapping, you know, you ain't shit, you know. And like I say, these dudes are given free material. And I understand it causes conflict, but it's like this. Some of these dudes they're putting just as much poison into our communities as the negative rap, but yet they're getting a pass.
No, I don't have a.
You know,
no. I think all that murder rap, all the drill, I think that shit is terrible. You know. So,
yeah. You know,
I think it's hard. I think it's hard to be a rapper now, just because, like, the authenticity that people are looking for is going to lead you to being dead.
Crash out. Yeah, you got to crash out. You have to crash out at this point.
And I would say to some degree that's true, but I mean, it's like this. You think a lot of real cats wouldn't, if you had a good vibe and a good beat and you was, you know, let's say like some of those baggers I talk about, you was bagging on, you know, Tekashi 6ix9ine. You think real cats wouldn't say, oh man, I don't like that? Yeah, record labels might not promote it, but you don't have to. Some of the biggest rappers today don't have record deals. You know, I mean, at this point in time, technology allows for us not to have to go sniffing up these people's asses for a deal. And the fact that you do, it shows you have no dignity or respect for yourself. You know, once again, we talk about technology, you know, how technology is opening the doors. You know, we going back to the prison aspect and jail aspect. You know, we got to touch these youngsters. We got to put these youngsters, give them other alternatives, and put them in programs that allow them to create skill sets that will give them independence. And then they can take some of those skills, and we can mix that with youngsters and mix that with, you know, there's cats I know that are either coming out of these prisons or in those prisons that have made significant changes in their life. There are dudes that I know back behind some of them walls, man. I'll give a good example. I was in a place called Lancaster, and you know, when the LA riots happened and Reginald Denny was stomped. Okay, well, old boy, I'm trying to think of old boy's name that ended up getting accused of that. I can't remember his name, but he's from A-Tray anyway. Well, he was the little. Okay, well, I ended up in Lancaster with his namesake, but the OG. Now, he was already down when that stuff occurred. He had a 25 out of life, right? So now, me, him, and about 5 other brothers, mixed Crips and Bloods, older dudes. I had one dude from Compton. His son had just got killed. He had life. And so, you know, we used to go to a lot of different programs, chapel, and different things together. And so you had dudes that were trying to tell some of the youngsters that was coming on the yard that they could make a change in their life. So me and 5 dudes walked out into the yard and walked into the middle of the crowd of everybody and let them know, look, we understand these dudes might be from certain sets and you might feel that they need, you know, to have to get down, to get jumped out or whatever, this and that. We ain't got no problem with that. We're not trying to protect no punks, but y'all not fixing to tell these youngsters that they can't make an attempt to change their life. It ain't happening, you know. And we literally pushed the line like, if you got a problem with that, then we can handle this right now. And the dudes backed up. Because they understood what, you know, and our minds was like this. We older. How would we feel if that was our son coming on somebody's yard? You know? Right. See, you know, now we do understand that, yeah, a lot of dudes say that and they don't really mean it. And then, you know, how do we know? So every youngster that come on the yard that shows some sincerity to want to make a change, we're not going to let you dudes interfere with that, you know? So, you know, it's things like that, you know, pushing the line like that, you know, in our communities, pushing the line. And some of those dudes could get out and we could create programs for them and for the youngsters, you know, in technology or in other things that maybe their natural talents, you know, lean towards, you know. And then, you know, it's like this, man. You take like a cat like me. You take a few cats like me, man, and you give them tech skill sets where they're making good money and they go back to the hood, and then people say, well, what are you doing? What are you up to? Man, that's almost on the ground level as impactful as some of these rappers.
Do you feel like that's what Nipsey was attempting to do? I mean, he had a lot of program coding.
I think in some aspects. I think his biggest problem is a lot of people don't realize he really wasn't mature in his street game. And I say that because I always talk about a concept called usalamu. And usalamu is Swahili. Salamu is Swahili for security. Usalamu is meaning like, do you got security? And just think of the concept like this. If we're working out on a bench, you have 2 spotters on the sides of you, okay? And then you'll have a dude at the front of the bench looking out into the yard. His whole objective is to give the spotters enough time to get the weight up off of you so you can get up and handle your business for yourself. That's usalamu. Now, usalamu is also, it could be as simple as you just looking back periodically. Or it can be as simple as you making sure that your digital profile, your digital information is safe. Usalamu is a concept that encompasses life as a whole, you know, and so that's something that he hadn't been versed in, and because of that, he had no ring of security, And dude was allowed to come in like that, you know. And then what makes it so cold is dude was allowed to get away. You know, I've taken guns from people twice in my life. And I've literally ran up on somebody who I saw was pulling a gun out, and I knew I had three or four steps, quick steps, to get at him. And you know, I grew up like this, man. I'm not gonna step up out of my car and you got me to draw, and I'm pleading with you about my life. If you coming to take it, you better be ready, because I'm just like the Gates rack in there. The Gates rack, you know, when that incident occurred, there was a voice inside my head that said, Gates rack, move or die. And I knew that I only had, and I jumped up out of the car and rushed him and caught his wrist as he was pulling the gun out, you know. And we tussled and went through, you know, and it was a whole nother story with that. But you know, that's part of that Usalamu. You know, I had somebody run up in a 7-Eleven on me and try to gun me and two other people down, and my Usalamu was kicking in before I even got to the store, you know, because I didn't even want to go to the store heated. I thought my boy had a heat, and come to find out he didn't. I went back. I had put my shit up and went back and got it. Came back, we was at a 7-Eleven, got to the 7-Eleven, still didn't want to go in with it, put it up under the seat. They went in the store, was still feeling around like, nah, man, put it in your waistband. Put my waistband, got out the car. I seen the car, put it on the side street. Just for some reason, that something told me that car. I go in and ask my little homeboy, hey man, this car, I just seen it. And he tells me some chicks told him the car was driving around hitting people up earlier. So then that mind telling me, man, go outside and see where that car went. I go to the counter. I tell the dude on the counter, hey, give me a blunt or something. And I didn't pay for it. I walked to the door and he's like, hey, you want the blunt? So I went back and got it, threw some change on something. Still telling me, man, go outside and look and see what it is. I go out the door. And as I go out the door, a dude hit the corner. You know, most 7-Elevens are designed the same. Hit the corner on the little handicap walk. And I look and see him, and he's heated, you know. And I see, you know, his hand like at his leg, you know, down at his leg, kind of like this, you know. And as soon as I see his two fingers and I see they're cocked on something, I draw, you know. And I saw fire come out of his gun twice. I dumped. He ducked back around the corner of the building. I run to the corner. I don't see him, but halfway down the block, I see that car. I see the brake lights shining from that same car. I run back to the 7-Eleven. Now I'm mad because I know it's cameras all in front of 7-Eleven. You know, I just run barely to where the brick in the glass. I look, ain't nobody in 7-Eleven. My home and them, they done ran in the back with the store dude. I bang on the thing, on the glass. I run back to the corner of the store just to make sure that the car was going. It was gone. I went back, tabbed in, we jumped in the car, you know, but once again, that was Usalamu. Because there were several times where I could have made the wrong move and that would have been it. And either dude was going to come into 7-Eleven or he was going to wait till we came out. And once again, like I say, I'm not going to be pleading with you about my life. It just ain't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? If you want it, you're going to have to take it, because I'm going to move. You know, I'm going to move. And I'm 56, but I'm in very good shape. I'm in very good shape, you know.
So
do you,
CB,
yeah,
I got a
go
question
ahead,
for you. Just going off from a G perspective. What he's talking about technology. What do you see that could be done or implemented, given to kids to give them an alternative?
Is that to me or CB?
I think to given to kids. And what do you mean? Like,
well, you said,
to give them an advantage?
From a G perspective, like what you know, he's talking about technology or what that would look like. What is, you know, where do you? I guess we can start with what's the problem, and then how do you fix it?
The problem is, to what he said, from a G perspective, said it's a lack of knowledge about the technology. I mean, the world is run by tech now, and I've been a proponent of the last 2 years. We got to take it a step further than just programming. Now it's about AI. So now you got to be, so first the first step is to get kids comfortable with STEM, right? Math, science, get comfortable with that. Once you can get them comfortable with that, you move them on to programming, engineering. And then once you get them comfortable with that, you got to move them on to AI, because ultimately AI is built on top of all those other skill sets. But you got to start with a base, and these kids got to understand math. That's the critical part. You got to understand math and be willing to learn it and understand it enough to apply it. So that's what has to happen, man. And, you know, AI is dangerous, man. AI is taking away programming jobs now. So it's like, I don't know, man, almost going back. It's almost a reset. Now you got to be able to deal with your hands. You gotta have yeah, go ahead.
You know, I'm looking at the way things are. I tell people all the time.
If you can, from a G, turn your Wi-Fi off if it's on, because you may be connecting back to the Wi-Fi in the spot.
Nah, it's off. Nah, it's off. It's off. I'm on the phone. Nah, it's off. What I was saying is I believe that right now, old world skill sets, you know, electrical, plumbing, you know, working on cars, all that is going to be viable for a long time. You know, in LA, a significant portion of the homes were built during the right after World War II. So a lot of those houses are going to need to be rewired. AI robotics is not going to be to do that, right? You know, they may be able to give us a better schematic of how to rewire the house, but it's not going to be able to physically do that. You know, cars, you know, everybody's not going to be able to afford a hybrid and all that. So, you know, some cars, you know.
Okay, so I agree.
So, let me just finish one. And then everything, and then higher skill sets such as technology, programming, computers, and so forth. But everything in the middle of that is going to be gone, you know. And so either getting these youngsters into, you know, either those old world skills, you know, like we used to have a lot of LA, they called it SROC, or we had a lot of trade schools and a lot of trade classes.
Correct.
You know, and reinstituting those along with technology. But the first thing is just, you got a lot of youngsters, like, for example, man, you know, I ask youngsters all the time, do they know anything about Bitcoin? You know, even crypto in general, you know, and only a few in the last 3 or 4 years have ever said yes. As a matter of fact, 2 young brothers said yes to me that I've asked probably hundreds. And I gave them, like, I don't know, a couple of years ago, I gave them, like, you know, like $25 in Bitcoin, because they both had wallets. You know, I gave them $25 in Bitcoin. One of them I still kind of holler at on social media every now and then. But, like, I mean, you know, yeah, some of them might say, oh, Doge or something like that, or they're like, I'm not really interested, you know, whatever. And you know, you always hear talk about, oh, well, young people are into the space. And I have to say, I've been to a gang conference, and most of the, you know, outside of a few developers, most of the people I see are either my age or a little bit younger. You know, they're, you know, 30s or whatever, you know. And so just the fact that most youngsters aren't even aware, especially in the inner cities, aren't even aware of alternative opportunities. So educating them just on alternative opportunities is the first step. Another thing I believe is that will be much better. We all have some natural skill sets. Most of us never go into fields that our natural skill sets, you know, can be used as an advantage. And so part of that is finding out what some of these youngsters' natural skill sets are, so that we can direct them into fields that would give them the advantage. You know, whatever it may be.
What do you mean? What do you mean by natural skill sets?
I mean, like for example, like, okay, okay, I'll give you a good example. In ancient days, or just in tribal days, you would get several names. The first name you got was just at birth. It didn't really mean anything. And then as the tribe, because remember he talks about the old, you know, it takes a village to raise a child.
Right.
So in time, the village recognizes that, wait a minute, this little boy can run fast. This little boy has good eye and hand coordination. You know, he can throw a rock and he can pop a lizard. Or this little boy is a good archer. So the little boy that's a good archer, we're not going to have him working in the field or working around cattle. He's going to be in the hunting class. You know, the little boy that maybe has a more nurturing spirit, you know, and we see that he's always, you know, kind of been around the animals, and the animals, you know, he's, you know, whatever, sheep whisperer or whatever, cattle whisperer, whatever. Then we're not going to have him using arrows. He may know how to use an arrow, but we understand that it's not efficient for us to have him using the arrow. You know, it's like you know, you go places and
say that in
you know,
today's terms.
so
Then what does that look like?
Okay, like for example, like the person who's the best natured, the person who's the most friendly shouldn't be in the back of the kitchen washing dishes. He should be greeting. And the person who's the most irritable should not be at the door doing greeting. He should be doing something else. Or a good example, the best cook in the house should not be cleaning the bathrooms because the worst cook in the house doesn't want to clean the bathroom. The best cook in the house should be cooking because that's beneficial to the house. We get the best meal available, you know, and yeah, so be it, you know, you're not a good cook and maybe you have to clean the bathroom or do something else. But hey, we're not going to be sitting up here, you not cleaning the bathroom and the best cook is cleaning the bathroom. He ain't cooking because you don't want to clean the bathroom.
Well, who's dictating who makes that decision or who gets the job?
Well, I mean, once again, so we're going back to the tribe. We're going back to, you know, as the kid grows up. So, you know, he may start out, his name is just, you know, well, I give something, you know, smiley cheeks because as a little baby, he smiled in his cheeks. But then, you know, when he reaches a certain age, we realize he can run like the wind. So now his name is Run Like the Wind, you know. See, so the you know, the tribe pulls out that you know, that strength, and it makes sure that kid goes in the direction of that strength. You know, it doesn't mean that he may not.
That's
do
the problem.
other
We don't
things
have
later.
a tribe anymore, though.
Well, that and that
in today's
and that
society,
and that. So we have to create. So we have to create. Well, not with community, but I mean, we can create some type of, you know, I don't know whether it's test or some type of, you know, something to pull out what may be. Doesn't mean that it's going to be 100% correct. Yeah, there'll be some kids that go into fields that they're probably not best suited for, but hopefully we'll at least pull in enough kids that are suited. A kid that's good at math, like for example, my granddaughter. When I do stuff with her, I notice she counts. So I'm leaning now to the presumption that she may be good in math because she relates numbers to things. So like she could be walking and she see the cracks in the street. She'll say 1, 2, 3, or if we're stepping on something, she'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I'm saying? Not without I don't, you know, push her towards that. She just automatically goes to do that. My grandson doesn't do that. He does other things. My grandson likes to tinker with stuff. You know, he'll be like, just, you know, like really, you know, whereas she won't, you know, and that doesn't mean that that's necessarily their strengths, but that is at least something that we can lean towards. You know,
yeah, I gotta double back on, and I've said this on many of my live streams, fellas, about, you know, hands-on skilled trades that I do see definitely being a critical part. And a lot of people, you know, these younger people they're not adapt to that. They don't have any clue. They play video games all day. They're on Twitter all day. They're on social media all day. So yeah, that is the future. It's crazy that it sounds that way, but that literally is the future, skills trades. Because as From a G perspective said, everything in the middle is getting gutted out. AI is going to take away all those jobs. So you're going to have to be on one or the other end of the spectrum. You're going to have to be very, very highly skilled engineers, or you're going to have to be on the other side, still making a lot of money. You're going to be able to make a lot of money, probably as much as a skilled engineer, being a skilled trade person. So that's definitely, you spot on with that one for sure.
Another thing, cryptography. I get on youngsters, I get on parents. Like, hey, if your kid is good in math, cryptography, everything's going to have to be encrypted. A lot of people don't understand that. You know, everything. You know, if your phone is talking to your refrigerator, that communication is going to have to be encrypted. Because why would I hack your phone when I can hack your fridge? You know, and then go through your phone.
One of the biggest issues is resources. Like, you're able to spot these things in your grandkids, but coming from a parent that doesn't know anything, it come from the same environment. Like how do these kids
once again, you already know that we're in such a state of despair that, you know, we've got to start from the basics, you know, and part of that is re-educating our people, man, you know, to look at things from a far different perspective that they've been looking at, you know, and part of that is erasing the lies, you know, we, you know, that's something I'm big on. You know, I was told lies all my life, man. I So you know, I had to sit in. I did a SHU program in Pelican Bay, you know, for a stab and assault. I did 21-month SHU program, and I went back through everything that I believed, irregardless of who told it to me, and asked myself, is it based on logic? You know, and everything that wasn't.
Critical thinking has been, you know, critical thinking has been extracted from our system, right?
Man.
Well, religion doesn't allow you to critically think because there's certain.
Nah, that's not true. Well, that's not true though. That's not true because we're going to go to religion. The Bible says to rightfully divide the scriptures. So what that means is that you're not supposed to take one scripture and create doctrine from it. You know. Now, of course, we can go into some nuances, but you know, even matter of fact, what they call the apostolic men made a statement saying that the church should be cleansed every 100 years, and we haven't done that. You know, and that's why it's gone on to, you know, the people in the pews have a right to check the church about their pedophilia. They shouldn't be giving them more money, but instead they're silent. You know. When the guy in the pews is talking about something, you should be able to go in the scriptures and find it, and not just from one scripture. I should be able to look at several scriptures and see it. You know, that's something I did in there as well. Look, my last 13 years, I did a completely 180. I 4 hours every single day. I had cellies I drove crazy because I wouldn't talk to them.
You're breaking up.
I read 4 hours every day. I had cellies that I drove crazy because I wouldn't talk to them because they wasn't talking about that. And my mind was like this: the only reason why you're still in the cell is because I like my program. But if I didn't like my program situation I was in right now, you would be in the cell with me. So my thing was like, I don't gotta say a motherfucking thing to you, dude. Outside of, hey man, count or child, get up. I ain't gonna let you starve. But I don't gotta say a motherfucking thing to you. I got 2 books. I got 2 boxes of books under the bed. I got 1 box I already read that I need to read again. I got another box I ain't read yet. TV, radio is on. You can vibe to that. I don't gotta say nothing to you, dude, because you ain't talking about that. You know. And there were cellies that I was in the cell with for 9, 10 months, a year, and I ain't said more than about 30, 40 words to them. The words I said to him was like, hey man, child, you know, I ain't gonna walk out the cell and you sleep and leave you starving, you know. So
would you have read like that had you been out?
Probably not. I used to read as a kid. What I found is that when I was a kid, I went to a lot of white schools, and they had put me in I remembered I was put in a reading club because I had a reading disability, and then my mother used to take me to a tutor. And so years later, that helped because now my reading comprehension is off the hook. My reading comprehension is so good is that I convinced the warden and his legal staff to let me out because they had interpreted the rule book wrong, and I had to give them an English lesson. But that wouldn't have happened had I not, in years earlier, improved upon my reading skills and my reading comprehension. And so yeah. You know, once I got set down, I decided to read intensely. But my first term, I had read because, you know, when you're coming in, if you come in right, there's going to be a lot of books that if a dude is trying to school you right, that he's going to steer you to. You know, so even my first term, I had read all, a Soledad Brother, and I had read all the George Jackson. I read a lot of that stuff. You know, this term I got into business, marketing, trading, a little bit of technology and things of that nature, amongst other things, some languages, amongst other things. But
so the time that you had to sit down, it was net positive. You would say,
yeah, I would definitely say that. I'm 10 years plus free. Got a passport. I've been to 4 countries. You know, yeah, I'm not where I want to be, but I don't look back to going back to the bullshit. You know, now I ain't got no problem with breaking somebody off.
I'm saying that just to say is like, it's almost like, and it sounds like Charleston White-ish. A lot of cats, they got to go sit down in order for them to be able to slow down.
Well, Malcolm had to sit down. Don King sat down. Don King sat down for like 10 years. You know, Malcolm sat down. Old boy from the show that used to be called The Rock. He did, you know. So yeah, you know, that you know what, that's if you take the right route in there, that's historically been one of the best universities. If you take that route, a lot of dudes go in there with nonsense. Like, for example, I looked out of the cell and looked out in the chair, and I knew the stats that said 80% of y'all are going to recidivate. So the first thing I thought was I got to do the exact opposite for you. Those 13 years, I never played chess, cards, dominoes, not one time, not with none of my cellies.
So maybe
not once.
Oh, but DR, maybe you're an exception to the rule because you just said it. 80% recidivism. That ain't good. That means
I mean, no, that's not
only 20% success rate. Only 20% success rate.
We're talking to a unicorn right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, round of applause for the unicorn. Unicorn thug. Round of applause for him.
You know, I mean, I you know, sometimes that's what it takes. My whole thing is we got to figure out a way to implement that without our youngsters having to go through that. You know, and oftentimes when I talk, that's the perspective that I'm coming from is, hey, you know what I'm saying, you know, don't make the same mistakes that I made. You know,
right.
There are other alternatives and ways. You know, but if you're not made aware of that, and if you don't know that exists, you know, then, you know, you don't have nobody told me that I could go the other direction. And I didn't find that out until later. You know, nobody told me that, you know, that I had the aptitude.
Like we're in a conundrum just because everybody has access to information, and you know now. But what do you do with your time? You know, and how do you? And then once you get the information, how are you able to implement it into your daily life if you don't have the resources? So I think there's a lot of issues.
Well, against resources, I mean, you just made a statement that the information is there. The whole thing is that most people don't know. If I don't know to go to these subject matters, then I'll go online and, you know, I'll watch a bunch of rappers, you know, or I'll watch, you know, twerking videos or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, or some other, I watch a bunch of sports.
Sexy Red.
I watch a bunch of sports. But if you don't know other, you know, it's like the same thing. When I looked out in the day room and I saw those dudes playing cards and dominoes, and the first thing I noticed was that all these dudes could give me the stats on sports, on the teams and players, but couldn't tell me how to make a legal dollar. And so that right there didn't make sense. So for example, I've walked away from all that. I haven't watched a game unless I'm walking to somebody's house and it's on. I haven't watched a game in over 20 years. You know, don't give a damn. Honestly, I don't respect none of that. Don't give a damn about it. I think that's one of the biggest plantations out there. You know what I'm saying? Because every time we have an issue, what do? They parade in some athlete who don't know what the hell he's talking about. And then he spouts off some bullshit rather than him saying, look, man, I'm not the expert on that. We got some people that are experts on that. My people, I'm going to direct you towards them. You know,
I want to, so as we wrap up, I want to ask you 2 questions. One on the subject of what we're talking about today, ladies and gentlemen, which is the Tupac trial or murder, arrest. From your understanding, because you're from there, who was the trigger man? Because what we have now is that Big Dre was.
I don't know. He's saying it was somebody else. He's saying it was somebody else. You know, so I don't know. You know, I can't even say I don't know. You know, but he's saying that he was there and it was somebody else. That don't look good for the other person. You know,
Well, he's dead. All other three people
then,
are dead.
If everybody is dead, then hey, you know what I'm saying. But that don't mean he won't get a conspiracy. He can get a conspiracy either before the act or after that. Like you said, it was probably, you know, they got into it, and then it was a happenstance thing. So that wouldn't be a conspiracy to commit before the fact. That would be a conspiracy to commit after. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
You know.
Gotcha. You know. And lastly, I want to ask you about.
Before that name I forgot is Big Jake. Big Jake was, you know, Big Jake. Yeah, he got killed at one of the Jack the Rappers a few years prior to that. That's how the whole beef actually started. That's how the whole beef started. So most people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Just Tupac just came in to the already existing beef. You know what I'm saying? But it was really Big Jake that got killed. He was, I want to say, from either Cedar Block. I think he was from Cedar Block. Either Cedar or Campanella, and that's how it really kicked off, you know. And supposedly those other dudes were involved in that, you know.
How do you feel? Last question. How do you feel about Ice Cube? I'm really liking how he's stepped away from the machine.
I like now. I
didn't like him in the past, right?
I used, and that was when I talked about the 100 on my head. Well, the dude that put the 100 on my head, he's dead now. That's the dude that Sugar's in jail for. Well, dude was extorting a bunch of rappers, and Ice Cube was one of them. You know, they had a record deal going. Dude got to running off with the money, so Ice Cube gave his half of the money back. You know, so you know that was then. Now I like the fact that okay, after you've gotten some money and prestige, you're going to do the right thing. You know, whereas we got a lot of our, you know, celebrities that how much is enough? How much is enough before you have some dignity? You know what I'm saying? You know, and so I respect what he's doing now. You know, I don't agree with everything, but I respect what he's doing now. And he had to learn. He had to learn that okay, you step out there, you know, this is what they're gonna do. You know, and I think he was somewhat prepared for it, or at least willing to go, you know, the full mile. You know, okay, fuck it, y'all want to ostracize me, whatever, cool. I got mine. I ain't fucked it all off. I can go live a good life. You know what I'm saying? Do some other things, whatever. And it ain't, you know, as opposed to some of these fools, you know, they step out there and then come back and want to apologize and all that. And that means you didn't really think about what you were going to do before you did it. Because if you thought they were just there wasn't going to be a counter move, that's ignorant. That's illogical. There's going to be a counter move. So what's your move after the counter move? You know,
right.
So big ups to Ice Cube. Big ups to Ice Cube. You know.
Well, there you go, man. Round of applause. Dr. Little John checking in with us today. Really appreciate all that, man. Definitely have to get you back on, talk more crypto and stuff. You guys can go follow him on Twitter right now. Dr. Little John 137. Go holler at my man. Go follow him. Get his subscribers up, ladies and gents. He's dropping some knowledge out there, man. For sure. I appreciate you coming on, Dr. LJ.
That was dope.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Always love, man.
All right, bro.
First brother, man, in the space, man, that you know, embrace the cap, man. You know, and I come from non-conventional. I came in a non-conventional way, but I'm still here. You know, I'm still here.
Absolutely.
You know.
I remember when I met you out in Vegas first time.
Vegas, Vegas. Yeah. Vegas.
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks for coming on, bro. I'll definitely get you back on the show, man. Talk some crypto.
Oh, man, appreciate it, man. Y'all have a good one, man.
Ain't nothing to talk about.
This is Bitcoin, man. Bitcoin. You know, my thing is this. Here, look. Nah, my thing is this, man. Nah, my thing is.
I got a question for you. Since crypto dead, what's going on with this Bitcoin BitBoy situation? You been following that?
Yeah, I don't like that dude, man. That dude's a weenie to me, man. He's one of them dudes, man, that would have came in a circle, man. He would have got smashed on, man. Just your disposition. Just your disposition. Show I don't do no weenie stuff, man, when it comes to dudes, man. I don't do no weenie stuff, and I can see your disposition. It's like that dude, Richard Hart. You got on all these old Gucci off.
Oh, that Gucci.
We're not with that. It's cool. I understand if you got one, you know, you got a shirt or you got a pair of shoes, but you got pants, shirt, shoes, glasses, hat. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Then purses. Come on, man. We ain't with none of that. Once again, you come on the block, the best bagger at the picnic, behind the alley, in the apartment complex. He gonna be on you, man. He gonna be on you. That's
if Big Boy would have came up to your house with that nonsense,
he wouldn't even have came to my house because he'd have knew better. He'd have knew better. He'd have knew better.
Round of applause for OG. Tell him how it is out here in these streets. You already know. Well, I'm going.
Hey, so CB, you got to make that a drop, bro. Blood, you're a bitch.
Oh yeah, come on, man.
It's got to be a drop, dog.
We
add that to your drop.
Yeah. There you go, TC. I'm gonna do that tonight. That's gonna be on the soundboard. That's gonna be on the soundboard. Man, I had to get him on the phone ASAP, bro. It was about to be a problem. It was about to be a problem, bro. No, it was about to be a problem, but it's all good. We good. He doing his
man,
thing.
You know, he doing his thing. You do your thing, man. Keep moving, man. Keep moving, man. He's a train wreck. Regardless whether he reaches another pinnacle of dudes like that, train wrecks, man. You know what I'm saying? Train wrecks. Just this whole get down. What the hell are you at these people's house doing? What you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Then you got your other chick with you in the car. And come on, man. That's you know, like when come on, man. That's you know.
Hey, we got a new dance, y'all. Next time y'all see me at a crypto conference, I'm be in the middle of the convention doing one of these joints on y'all. Get my big boy dance on, boy.
See that, right, man. I remember, man. I go back. I remember, man. Like 5-6 years ago, man. That dude was shilling everything that moved. You know, everything that moved, he was shilling.
Hey, man, he was getting paid. You know. The money was flowing.
Well, I understand that.
I ain't even gonna speak on that.
But I understand that. But my thing is that I'm honestly here for the revolution, man. It's a way bigger picture, man. Yeah, there's money to be involved, but yeah, I learned this, man. I learned this, man, in the streets, man. You don't got to scam everybody, man. You don't got to rob and steal and cheat, man. I don't.
But when the majority of people are scammers, then how do you differentiate yourself? That's
there's a lot of people that I got in this space that are still speaking the same stuff they spoke when I first got in. You know,
the problem is they've
advanced. You know,
but then you have new people that come and surpass what the OGs.
Well, if I use that same argument, then I can use that same argument. Hey, there's people on the street that, you know, dude's got a Cadillac now. He's got a truck. What is he doing? Maybe he's selling dope. Maybe he's doing credit cards. Maybe he's robbing. So should I go follow suit? Nah, at some point in time, integrity has to stand. And right now, as far as our people, I don't want to direct. Our people don't have a whole lot of money to just be fucking off. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have a problem with somebody taking advantage of the crypto market to get more sats or something else. But I believe before they take that route, they should understand the fundamentals. But you got a lot of people coming into the space through Dogecoin, coming in through, you know, I get people all the time telling me, hey, what you heard about this? It's supposed to be the new woo-woo. You know, come on, man. You don't even know how many sats you got.
Most of those people will never be converted over because they just gamble.
Well, I mean, I get that.
I would say 95% of the market is speculation and gambling.
I get that, but a lot of them have never even been heard or even been taught the fundamentals first. You know, a lot of them haven't even been taught.
But DR, they gotta want that though, because they're gonna overlook channels like mine. They're gonna overlook people like you who spitting the real. They're looking for the shiny, gold object.
Hey, everybody ain't gonna get it, man. Everybody ain't gonna get it.
There you go.
And that's you know what I'm saying. Everybody, everybody ain't gonna get it. You know, it's just like with our people. Everybody's not going to probably, you know, everybody's still going, you know, are still kissing Biden's ass. You know, even after all these up to these years, you know, from the border being open to just Ukraine. Look, they're pushing Ukrainian Nazis. They're giving hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukrainian Nazis. Now all of a sudden Nazis are cool. You know, see, and you got some people. You're gonna have people that are gonna follow that, you know, till the wheels fall off.
What's going to happen with this election, man? What's really going? What's going to happen?
Honestly,
they got Trump on 4 indictments. I didn't even know they were TC. They had him on some on the I guess inflating business assets. That's a whole. Is that a new one? Is that a new one?
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. That came out of the blue. They found him guilty of that one, or supposedly, I don't know. But I look at it like this, you know, I tell people, I say, okay, so if you're saying Mar-a-Lago is not worth what it's worth, then that means you got to recomp everything around there. So that means everybody around there's got to take a hit.
Not only that, bro, he didn't put a gun to the head of the banks who cleared the assessment on that. It's not like I can make up an assessment and then that's just law. No, it goes through like the bank, the financial people who he's dealing with have to sign off on that. So how can you?
Yeah.
I'm confused. But
and that was
so
still
what do you think?
That was still based on overall comps. That was still based on comps around that whole area as a whole. You know. So that means all those comps were off. So that means all those people they need to take a write-off.
Well,
because if you're saying Mar-a-Lago's only worth they say it's worth 18 million.
18, yeah.
They're saying Mar-a-Lago's only worth 18 million.
$18 million.
There's houses
and there's $100 million house. Matter of fact, what's the dude that died, bro? Rush Limbaugh got a crib. Okay, he's got a house, not a compound, worth $100 million right on Mar-a-Lago. On that strip, and his house is only worth 18. Okay, so what do you think is going to happen, bro? They're pulling out all the stops.
I think they might. I think after they put all these stops, I wouldn't be surprised if assassination attempt. You know,
that would be too obvious, though, wouldn't it?
And if that, well, I'm saying after all the other stops. You know, after they pulled all the other stops, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't try to, whether it's something covert. I hope he trusts his cook, and I hope he trusts the people who buys his food for the cook.
That's the Secret Service's job, I believe.
Yeah, he's got to tighten everything up, man.
Damn.
But if it happens, shit's gonna hit the fan. Shit's gonna hit the fan. But they're gonna do a bunch of other stuff before then. I don't know who they're gonna. I don't see who they're gonna pick. To run against him. Right now they're still saying Biden, but that's shaky. I don't. And I don't know about Gavin. He's saying he don't want to, but I don't believe that.
But he's doing presidential debates. You got a governor doing a debate against a right wing.
What got a chance of winning?
What the hell is going on, man? Crazy times we live in.
It's gonna be it's crazy times, man. We're definitely already in the matrix.
I'm telling y'all, none of it matters, bro. Just watch sports, man. Gamble, drink, smoke. Fuck this shit.
You might be right. You actually might have a point there, TC.
Like this
seriously.
I'm over the big brain stuff, man. Like I did it. It's like nothing's gonna change as much as you think like you can change who you are and your perspective and how you treat people. But as a whole, like I just feel like it is what it is. Like Trump may push this shit out a little further, but whatever it's gonna be is gonna be.
You know what I think? I think on that aspect, I think a plan B, exit strategy. That's something that I'm looking at.
I done bought a whole bunch of those.
Maybe a second citizenship. You know what I'm saying? Just staying ahead of the bullshit, man. Stand. A few months ahead of the bullshit.
I done bought a whole bunch of Plan Bs. They work. Round of applause for that.
I just don't see it coming back. Like, how do you reverse all this immigration? I mean, we're talking about, in our community, like the lack of education in our community, it goes back 50, 60 years from, like you're talking science, technology, engineering, math, reading, comprehension. I mean, it's across the board. Like, we don't have the skill set. So it's like, man, go play sports, man. Just make you some money. Go watch the shit. Hopefully you got a son, a daughter that can hoop, hit somebody, and do some shit like that. That's what the future is, man. Shit, you better get some entertainment.
Oh man,
go do it.
Entertainment.
Go do a scam or two. Don't do a scam.
No, see, don't do a scam. You ain't got to scam. You ain't got to scam. I mean, there's plenty of ways to do it legally. I'm just saying, people care too much about shit that that's not gonna change. That's just
that's where I kind of I stop in regards to this Trump movement. Like, I think Trump is the best thing. He's the best president I've seen in my lifetime. However, if he gets another 4 years, bro, he ain't gonna be able to do shit in 4 years to change the trajectory we're on in this country. It is.
He's
We
gotta
are
clean
lost.
out. He's got to clean
It
out
ain't
the
gonna happen.
CIA, the
But it ain't gonna
FBI,
happen.
the
He can't do it in 4
DOJ,
years.
the DOG. You
Yeah, he
know,
can't do
everybody
it.
around
Can't do
him, Congress. You know, we
Can't
need
do it.
more. We need more Congress people to life expectancy to need them to go on and check out. You know, but yeah,
I mean,
that's
for
why the
what? For them to put
exit
in,
strategy.
for them to put in
Exit,
somebody
yeah,
else.
but
Like,
that's
all they
true.
wanna do.
That's why exit strategy. You know, that exit strategy. That's why.
Where have you been looking? Because I started to entertain that. Where have you been looking?
First thing being that it's close to me, Mexico. Merida or La Paz.
Oh.
Merida is the second safest city in all of North America. All of the
from
America.
Colombo.
You know, or La Paz. A lot of black folks are in La Paz, South America. Maybe we're talking about the continent. Maybe Tanzania, Zanzibar, something like that. You know, maybe getting a few, maybe getting one in every continent, man. You know, getting one in every continent. And if you have those skill sets where you're flexible, then that makes it even easier, you know, because you can work on the go, you know. And that's why those skill sets are also important, man. What I call exercising my freedom, you know.
Yeah.
Exercising my freedom, you know. And there's a big old world out there, man. You know, big old world out there, man. You know, go see it. You know, and if you can, take your kids. You know, they'll be better off, you know, seeing the world. You know, and then when they come back or choose to come back or whatever, you know, they'll have a broader perspective on a lot of things. You know.
Yeah, I think that's one issue I would say in the black community. I feel that the world that we grew up in is not the same world that our kids and grandkids are growing up in. And we have to be cognizant of that. You know, it's way more Indians. It's way more. I mean, every race, you know, compared to what was here in the 90s and 2000s, you see way more ethnicities in America and that are successful. I think they say the Indian American is the most, you know, successful people in America. Mm-hmm. So how do we take, you know, stuff? I think that's kind of what we need to do is we got to piggyback off of the good things that we see in other societies and use that for our own collective.
I read a book, I can't remember the name, but it talks about the Indians and how they sold up the motel business in the United States. You know?
So what industry can black Americans sew up?
Man, I don't even know right
Other
now.
than the prison industry.
I mean,
the problem is we're such consumers, man. It's like programmed in. And at least the African Americans, right, and not Africans. I'm talking about us over here that have maybe 2 or 3 generations over here. We've been so conditioned for consumerism that it may take some generations, in my opinion, for us to even capitalize on something. TC, I don't see it happening anytime soon.
Well,
we're programmed to spend.
I think what we'll have to do is I don't think we can. It's not reasonable to think that we'll get a large change, but I think what we can do is we can create small groups that interact with each other. And then those small groups begin to build, you know, communities or in a modern concept, not necessarily that we live next to each other. Maybe some do live next to each other and some don't, but they interact, they exchange goods and services and ideals and concepts and whatever. You know, I think that's something that's far more achievable.
Basically more of a shared economy, a shared community.
There you go. There you go. Mindset, you know, I think that's easier to achieve, you know.
I think that there's going to be a CBDC type deal to where they can restrict how much alcohol you buy, how much liquor. That's the only way to control niggas' spending habits.
Of course. Well, they're going to do all that. They're going to do all that. I tell people they're going to do all that, you know, just having that programmable money. You know, and we look at what China's doing, you know, the social credit score. See, so they're going to be able to do this. When you have a disagreement with the government and you go out to protest, they're going to be able to face for recognition. They cut you off. And then if you don't have any other skill sets, especially if you don't have like those old world skill sets, then they're going to be tell you to shut the fuck up. And then
it's a couple people in the chat room that's saying Merida as well, like you were saying. I gotta look into that.
Yeah, Merida.
Yeah,
I looked Merida and La Paz. Merida is a little bit hotter,
okay.
And La Paz is a little bit cooler, but they're both like coastal, nice. decent, clean, and cost of living, like shit. Where we're living at, man, it's fucking like $3,000 a month, man. I could get this same thing in there for like
Cali right now.
Man, I'm paying anywhere from $6.10 to about $6.50 a gallon.
Round of applause for Newsom. Thank you, Newsom. Doing a great job out there in California, IA.
Well, that too, but you got a bunch of dumb voters. They voted twice for gas increase in taxes. See people not reading, not looking at. That's another thing. They write these bills that have, the title says something completely opposite of what's inside the bill. That should be illegal. That should be illegal. The bill should, the title of the bill, that should be the body of the bill. Period.
Right. 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 Well, there, man. Great conversation, gents. Really appreciate you coming on, DR. Definitely going to have you come back on in the future, man. So appreciate it. Make sure you guys go follow him again on Twitter or X now. They call it on X. Go follow him right now. I'm going to bring that up on the screen again. Dr. Littlejohn 137. Thanks a lot, bro.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one, Black.
All right.
Appreciate you, bro.
All right, TC. That's it, man. That was a good conversation, bro.
Man, great, man. That was really good, bro.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. Round of applause again for that.
Yeah, but you definitely get that. You got to get that big boy drop added to the soundboard.
Oh, it's going on the soundboard. It's going down, ladies and gentlemen.
That's the intro.
Crypto Blood, you're a bitch.
You're a bitch.
Oh man, and I'm gonna have to catch up with you later tonight, TC, to bring you up to speed on stuff behind the scenes, bro. Any last words?
Man, like I said, man, I think just live life, have fun. People too caught up in sport and politics and religion and crypto and this and that, man. Like this is a game. Life is a game. Just be entertained and be a good person. Like money don't mean shit. The kind of car you drive don't mean shit. The house you live in, like you can't take none of it with you. So enjoy life, man. Quit being negative. Quit not fucking with people because they don't believe in what you believe. Man, just believe what you believe and treat people how you want to be treated. That's it.
Hey, man, can we get an amen? I'm gonna pass that church offering plate around real quick. Make sure y'all fill that up. I know I'm getting demonetized on this one. That's it, man. I appreciate you coming on, taking that time out. We went an hour and 47 minutes today, ladies and gents. Make sure you share this video. A lot of knowledge drop. Probably some stuff you've never heard about regarding Tupac and Death Row and that whole situation. So definitely share this video so we can have more content like this coming your way. That's it. That's my 2 cents. That's TC's as well. We out of here, people. Hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're going to rock out to Bomb First again. Holla!
In today's music news, the ever-controversial Tupac Shakur has just released another album under the alias Machiavelli. Music insiders are running wild trying to rearrange other artists' street dates in fear of a wipeout in retail inter-chart movement. Although no one knows the exact cause of the new album, resources tell me a number of less fortunate rappers have joined together in conspiracy to assassinate the character of not only Mr. Shakur, but of Death Row Records as well. The question everybody wants to know is, why'd they get this nigga started? Tupac, rather Machiavelli, was not available for comment, but released this statement.
It's not about East or West. It's about niggas and bitches, power and money, riders and punks. Which side are you on?
Still fucking talking? You niggas still breathing? Fucking roaches? Alright, it's the raid on.
Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga!